Adam Deal, Charles Ashley. It is time now to break down the brackets. That was yesterday. We had a nice selection Tuesday in the morning, and then a late night cap at Cleveland High School, waiting for all the brackets. We got them out though.
A little two-a-days, reminiscent of football days. You know, you go to practice in the early a.m.
I'm a little bit exhausted.
Back.
I'm tired.
You should be, man. You're the hardest working man in showbiz right now. You had the manship. I heard Richard Tripp didn't show up. Richard.
You bailed on me.
Richard, come on now.
You bailed on me. Everybody bailed.
Hey, you didn't ask me. I would have been there, man.
Let's show you some of these brackets. Let's start with the 5A girls bracket here, and there was no surprises. Well,
no. It was.
Well,
People were a little upset about that Gallup Los Lunas.
Not if you follow the
I
rules,
agree.
right?
Okay, I said people.
So Gallup, Los Lunas, and Roswell was a three-way tie, basically, and it went to max prep. So Gallup got the 1 seed. They'll take on Piedra Vista. The 8-9 matchup is Farmington, Belen. That 5-12 is Lovington, Grants. The 4-13, Espanola versus Del Norte. Let's move to the bottom half now of this Class 5A girls bracket. You see, as we talked about, that three-way tie. Roswell doesn't win. They're the 3 seed against Centennial. The 6 seed is Los Alamos taking on Goddard, the 11. The 7-10 matchup, Valencia is going to host St. Pius. The Sartans going into Los Lunas. And then the Los Lunas Tigers will take on the Aztecs.
Good bracket, and you're right.
There's a little bit, to see a bracket,
a little bit of controversy about the one, but at the end of the day, you got to have a tiebreaker, and Gallup got the tiebreaker. Los Lunas,
though. I just get excited seeing a bracket.
Everyone gets excited. The Twitter sphere, whatever, was blowing up last night with people disappointed where they're at. Some people very happy where they're at. So this is the best time of year for me. I'm just excited to go to the pit next week and watch all these phenomenal teams play.
uSports Central will be out there. We'll give updates live throughout the day on the state tournament highlights for you. So next week, starting on Tuesday in the quarterfinals and up. Now, there are the first round this weekend. Girls going to be Friday night. We'll have 2 games for you right here on uSports Network and ProViewNetworks.com. And then Saturday, there are a ton of games to choose from. We're figuring out the schedule as we speak. As soon as we get them, we'll tweet them out to you and we'll let you know. Moving on now to the 5A boys bracket. Always exciting. This group in Centennial, what a wonderful season. Coach Heredia, he's done it, beaten so many great teams. He's beaten Roswell, he's beaten Hobbs, Cleveland, who are on top of the 6A bracket, so a great season. They'll take on Capital in the first round, and it's that district rivalry right there. Bernalillo going to take on Del Norte. Del Norte gets the home game, so that's the 8-9. Espanola Valley going to host Lovington, always a tough place to play at E-Valley, and then St. Pius, that 4, so you're going to take on the 13 Artesia.
What's crazy about this, you have 4 District 2 5A teams all on the same side of the bracket. So that District 2 of 5A got 4 teams in, but they're all on the same side of the bracket. So I don't know how the coaches are responding to that, but I'll be a little disappointed too because you're going to possibly meet up with a District foe. Capital sneaking in, they have to go to Cruces to play that Centennial team, which is very explosive. Satterfield, Baez, King, everyone. They just got a good team down there in Centennial.
Let's look at the bottom half of this one. Class 5A boys, Roswell, Los Lunas going to go at it. The 6-11 is Grants and Piedra Vista. Farmington's the 7. They'll host Goddard, and then Gallup and Belen, the 2-15. That is Class 5A boys. Always great matchups. We'll be interested to see how this one works. I think most of the favorites will find their way into the pit. But now it's time to shift gears, and we've released this yesterday, so not new news. More relevant in new news released late last night, the girls' 6A bracket. I again did not see any surprises in this one, Charles, as we'll take a look at it. And at the very top, no doubt about it, it is Clovis. They've had a wonderful season. They'll take on Gadsden. And that's what's interesting is that District 5 6A, the 8 seed is Valley. The 9 seed, Albuquerque High. So Valley, again, will take on Albuquerque. That was like probably the 9th time in the last 2 weeks. Hobbs going to take on El Dorado, the 5-12. The 4-13 is La Cueva versus Alamogordo. Mayfield, great season. They'll take on Rio Rancho in the 3-14. The 6-11 matchup, Las Cruces is going to host Santa Fe. Volcano Vista, the defending state champs, against Carlsbad, the 10 seed, and the 2 seed, Cibola Cougars going to take on Sandia, who really found their way into the tournament. A lot of people maybe thought they didn't. That was the only surprise to me, Charles, but it was close. It was a tiebreaker, so not too big of a shock.
No real big shockers. That Valley Albuquerque High game had a little bit of weight on it because I really believe that whoever won that game last night was going to jump to the home game. But regardless, they were going to still see each other. Now they're going to play again. Talk about being familiar with your opponent. So this is going to be that type of game where players just have to make plays. I'm interested to see that Alamogordo La Cueva game because Alamogordo is not a bad team. That's going to be a pretty good matchup.
Is Albuquerque, or excuse me, Alamogordo has slipped as of late.
Yes.
The start of the season, I think something like 11-1, just a great start.
Got into
Since
district,
then, they've only won a couple of games, so they have slid a little bit. I think Alexis Romano is too good. I think Coach Perea is too good. I think La Cueva is too good. I know the matchup is interesting because how good Alamogordo was early. I think maybe the most interesting to me is the Volcano Vista Carlsbad 7-10 matchup, and then potentially a quarterfinal matchup between Cibola and Volcano Vista. I know Coach Mabry has always had a difficult time with Volcano in the state tournament. It'll be interesting if she can get past that hump.
Yeah, get past the hump. She has a younger team. She has a couple older girls, but I think this Cibola team is equipped to make a really good run through this tournament. And I would love to see Danny Williams and Amaya Brown square off in the championship. How phenomenal would that be?
It would be good to see. We all want to see it.
Looking forward to that one.
Let's look at the 6A boys bracket now, released almost at 11 o'clock last night. Super late.
That's past my bedtime.
Yes, it is the Hob Eagles. Yes, they will play La Cueva. West Mesa will get a home game. The last team to get one, Las Cruces, will not, as District 3 6A winners. They're the 9 seed. Valley's going to get the 5, Oñate 12. Rio Rancho slips in at the 4 seed. They would have been 3 if they beat Cleveland last night. They didn't, so they fall back to the 4. They'll play Gadsden the 13. Carlsbad then does get the 3 as they'll play the 14 seed Rio Grande. Albuquerque High and Ron Garcia going to host the Cibola Cougars, who they lost to earlier, though the Cougars a little bit depleted since then. It's a great matchup, I think, for them. You look at the 7-10 matchup, I think is really interesting, Charles. Volcano Vista and Sandia. Volcano Vista will host them. And then the Cleveland Storm slots in at the number 2 seed. They'll take on Atrisco Heritage. I think it is fitting that Adrian Ortega's crew gets in. I will point out the only thing that we had mixed up, Charles, the only thing that I had tweeted out last was this exact bracket, except for Sandia.
That was
flipped
it.
With Las Cruces. Had Las Cruces at 10, Sandia at 9. So we did a great job. It's pretty simple. If you just go by the NMAA criteria, you can break it down. That's all I'm going to say. There's a lot of ifs in this, and this should have happened. I think NMAA has done their job in breaking down this criteria.
No, I agree. If you just go by the list, the criteria, it speaks for itself. There's a reason why you and I, the brackets, pretty much that's what we had. As you mentioned, one flip-flop with the Cruces, Sandia, so that could have went either way. But other than that, a perfect bracket. Hey, let's give ourselves some kudos.
Hey, come on back. We're going to break down some of these matchups and the district tournaments and all the finishes. A lot to cover still here on 3 and Out. It's uSports Central.